YouTube. Top of the day. Bring you greetings from the truck. Just want to say hello. Some people call me Michael. JEDINITE, Trucker Jedi, JEDINITE 55. My motorcycle handle is JEDINITE. And actually, I do have my colors. Let me show you my colors here. See my colors here. My motorcycle jacket. Still have my colors rather, hanging on my seat. And, you know, the trucking industry has been very, very interesting, and it's been amazing in more ways than one. And it's just the career path of how I got here. And some of my colleagues in the former industry that I performed in, housekeeping and construction and grounds maintenance and snow removal. And the competitors, and then when they heard I got in the truck, and they said, Mike is in trucking? Wow, what a twist. But you know, there's a story behind everything and how I got my start. You know, first I have to acknowledge, I have to thank God first, foremost, for the opportunity and the insight and the voices to get to this point. My wife and I had a conversation. I remember several years back, and you know, I'm coming out of a family. You know, we all working class. You know, I've had numerous jobs, and you know, I'm thinking back to my first job as had a paper route. I used to throw for the Washington Post in a shopping cart. But my family all had jobs, and we all were working class. And then from working class, most of my siblings now, we're all professionals, working professionals in different various capacities. And I don't want to get into that too much right now. But in the family structure, Dad was working for a long time with the meter reading, the public utilities, and then the situation happened in turn of events, and went into business, and we ended up working in the family business for a number of years. So from there, my brother and I went into business, and we did another decade or so. So I had this course, and then I went into business again for myself, doing construction for a couple of years, and I had just kind of got burnt out. And wife and I had a conversation, and somehow she pulled it out of me. And that's kind of an intimate story that I'll share more or less on another video about the whole process of starting out. But anyway, I'm here, and I got my start with a wonderful company in my estimation, Stevens Transport, and to my great trainer, Ralph. Thumbs up. Ralph is the reason why I'm here, why I'm able to continue to progress. I believe that the training he gave me fundamentally prepared me, you know, for this industry. You know, not so much just money, but he was an owner of his truck with Stevens Transport. But he taught me the business, more or less. He also taught me to operating of equipment and taking care of your equipment. So, Ralph, tip my hat to you. But as time progressed, I did the company thing for a couple of years, and then went into the lease program and did that for a year or so, and learned the business for myself, and the good as well as the bad, and had come to the decision that I was ready to step out, and I acquired my equipment. You know. Everybody on YouTube, and I want to acknowledge some of the YouTube persons before I go any further, but everybody has a certain career path. That's all I got to say about that, or a certain journey. Now, I'm going to apply trucking to it, because now I'm in trucking. This is my world right now. And it's so many avenues in this industry that no one is right, no one is wrong. And I hear the comments, and let me acknowledge the four persons that had an influence on me, and I'm at 5 minutes. Okay, not too bad. Casanova Roar, I would say, ranks up there in terms of getting that information and how he started and his operation set up and maintaining, and his perspective and approach to the industry and how he looked at it. And I did have a chance to talk to him on more than one occasion. It was a very good conversation, and I talked to him before I even got my first start at Stevens. I don't know how we had a chance to cross paths, and a lot of inspiration came from him and knowledge. But you know, along the way, you get more exposure. You start doing a little more YouTubing, and you talk to people on the street. So I'm getting the street knowledge, and I'm getting the knowledge from the old timers, as well as some of the young guys, some of the younger guys who had it together, who were doing good out here, that shared how it's going for them. And so, you know, Casanova Roar, I mean, I go to the list: Ponzi, Jeffrey Quinn, Jeffrey Like, Trucker J 717, D Sova, Alley Knight, Miss Diva Trucker, Trucker Desiree, I'm not sure I mentioned her, and then Flatbed Chick Cindy, and there's a handful of others. And even my former co-classmate is a lady driver, and she drives the regional, and we talk all the time. But my point is, all these drivers, and to name a few more: Steve Allenton, that's the guy I really I'm on this page all the time, and Periscoping as well, and Dion Ward, and you know, Sinister, I follow him a few times, and Ghost, and a handful of others. Everybody has something to offer in trucking, and that's all I got to say about that. You know, you can't. You can't rest your laurels on one individual. As I mentioned, the path is pre-designed for everybody, and we all travel a different route. I say this, you know, again, I tip my hat to these drivers. It's been all good. You know, my path started out good. I was stable. It was structured. I liked that part of it. But at some point, I felt like I was losing a grip on what I really wanted to do after a year or so getting into it. And, you know, I don't have a 20-year story. That's just the way it is. I mean, and I'm not going to try to compare notes with anybody who's a 20 or 30-year person. I got family members around me on my side of the family. I have an uncle that drove for 20, 30 years. I got a cousin that's 20-plus year. He's on my mother's side, and he is up in age, and he's got 25 years at Walmart, and I think he's been ready to step down in a little while. And then I got my uncle on my wife's side who's 20, 30 years flatbedding, and then I got some cousins who are loggers and flatbedders in the South, down in Alabama, it's Carolina. But you know, I'm not the 20, 30-year guy person, so my story ain't gonna be the same. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with it, and I'm not trying to compare notes. I was around trucks all my life, and tractors and John Deeres and straight trucks, but there's not the same as a semi. But my point being, I've been around machines and diesel engines all my life. But although I work in different settings and business as well, the influence was always there, and the exposure was always there. But it's just my story will be a little different because I started so late, and I thought I was going to be the oldest guy in the classroom, and I was like the second oldest in the class at the time I started. But you know, I had a desire to get into it. My wife gave me her blessing, and that's all I needed. So I was off and running, and here I am. And I believe all of that, and then the business part of it, all of it, you know, I was able to get the resources together. It pushed me to where I believe I'm in my natural place in the industry, and I don't boast on it. I'm grateful. I thank God for it, and you know, I'm a give and take person. I get out here and the road, you know, and you got the equipment running. We all running neck and neck, trying to get to here to there. And I try to give it more as I take. A common courtesy in, you know, some of the simple things, like you know, you're approaching a ramp. Look at the back of the ramp or the top of the ramp and see if anybody's jumping on. I'll already jump over to the left side, make room. So that's just how I drive, and that's what's kept me. And you know, knowing when to slow down, braking control. So, you know, these are all little things I'm sharing with you. And so far, you know, won't get into the money aspect, but I have to say, for me, is more than just money. You know, one other important factor that allowed me to get to this place was I had to be honest with myself. I didn't want to run 3 to 4 months at a time. I started out doing that, and the wifey said that's not going to work. So I had to think about this, go outside myself, and then take another step. But quality time is really important too. You have to value the quality time. And only thing I would say about that is, you know, I have a grandson going on 2 years of age, and it's so rewarding to get home and see him. And when I talk to him, he said, "Pop, truck." He knows I'm on the truck, and you can't put a price on that. So anyway, I'm going on 11 minutes. I know there's a certain length here. I just want to thank everybody for the encouragement and say to those, stay encouraged, and I'll continue to follow the videos to be inspired, and the drivers I talk to. And I don't know how long I'll be, you know, out here on the road. I'm going to take it 1 year at a time. As I mentioned to you, I got some other ventures that I still have, but 75% of my time is in trucking. And so I do have other things that I do, but the majority of my interest and time is in trucking, and that's where it'll be until I get the calling card or whatever. That it's time for me to make a transition, because I believe numerically, if God allowed me to live another 20 plus 30 years, then I can be a million miler, but I'm not going to lose any sleep over. I'll drive as I go and take the loads that best benefit me and my family, and my revenue and whatever my situation, and I'll just go with that. But anyway, I thank everybody for, you know, for sharing. And, you know, I just say this is time out for the going back and forth and debating and arguing and muscling and overshadowing people. And because truth be told, you know, take away the equipment with just ordinary people, everyday people. And then what if these same people are arguing, but then there's no truck, and you're in this big area and you have to get along? You know, what are you going to talk about if you don't have the trucking to go back and forth and debate over? We're really just trying to, I like to say, trying to do the job for the common good or greater good. And my thing is, I want to see, from what I've gathered in the short period of time I've been here, the revenue, you know, for what we do. And even one of the mechanics over here, I'm in Hickory, North Carolina right now, and I talked to one of the mechanics today. We just said, you know, for all you do, you know, and then it's not, you know, the job has to pay for what your worth is. And that's another driver I talked to yesterday in Norfolk, Virginia, and he started late too. We had a great conversation. He started a little later, and I started a little later, but he said he loves it and he's glad he started later. And I said, I'm glad I'm started later too, because I don't know what kind of driver I would have been if I had started at the age of 20 or 30, you know. So it worked out for me, not taking anything away from nobody else's situation. And that's my story, you know. Everybody has a story and a path, and for that reason, I'm grateful to the industry, and I'm gonna do the best, put my best foot forward and give back what I'm getting out of it. And plus. So again, take care, be blessed, and y'all be safe. Have a good one. It was good just having a conversation. Thanks.